The missing trampers, who sparked a massive search and rescue operation in Kahurangi National Park, won't face any charges, even though they were on a risky multi-day tramp which was forbidden during Level 3 lockdown. Dion, Reynolds and Jessica O'Connor were found on Wednesday after 19 days in rugged terrain, at times in bad weather and totally out of food, but suffering only minor injuries. The 23-year-olds went bush on March 8th, even though the country had been repeatedly told to stay at home as much as possible, only to engage in low-risk activities that would avoid the need for rescues or medical care, and to restrict tramping to day walks on easy trails. Nelson Bay's Area Commander Inspector Paul Borrell says the trampers, who are now both safe and well, won't even receive a formal warning because getting lost is not an offence. I asked him if the pair knew going into the bush for 2 weeks under lockdown was wrong.
The assumption I have is yes, that they would have been.
OK, so looking at your operational guidelines, It says where there is evidence that they know what the rules are, and if the breach is sufficiently serious, you can give them a warning and you can charge them.
OK, so the material I have is around the warning, is that only where evidence of education exists and when offences are repeated or are sufficiently serious.
Sufficiently serious. So that's the key point, isn't it? Is this not sufficiently serious enough to actually formally warn them?
Yeah. So it's not actually an offence. And the other piece of this that I think that's been sort of forgotten is that around our search and rescue, we would never want to create a situation where people are reluctant to ring for help for whatever reason. So that's another, we don't follow up charging monetary accounts, invoices for our searching for that very, very reason. And this really does apply. So, yes, I absolutely understand, the frustration of many of our people in the communities who have followed the guidelines as asked and fantastically well. We have had a small number, thankfully, of people who haven't. And each case is taken on a case-by-case basis, as this one has.
Have they apologised to you and the searchers for their actions?
I haven't heard an official apology, but I certainly saw tears of gratitude and happiness and relief when they were rescued. That's
kind of different, though, isn't it? That's been grateful to be alive and be out, and everyone can appreciate that. That's different to apologising for something.
Absolutely, but I'm picking that, reflecting over the next few days and probably having a look at the media messaging that's around about, because there's, as you know, a lot of interest in this. I think the apology will be coming.
So how much did this cost, roundabout, the search?
So we haven't got an official figure. I am anticipating somewhere around the $20,000 mark. So we're just remembering with that that most of the resource around land search is volunteers. And so, there are people who are giving up their own time, supported by the employers, and absolutely passionate about the opportunity of saving lives. So the cost factor of these is often around helicopter time, and we're very, very careful the way that we plan our searches, making sure that we have good patterns and hours, and it's a meticulous process. But I'm imagining that we're going to be in the vicinity of around 20,000. I won't know that for sure. We've got a formal debrief in about 3 weeks' time, and also the accounts are coming in at the moment, and I'll be able to assess that much more accurately in the coming weeks.
Because this was a massive search. New Zealand Defence Force personnel, 2 choppers, 1 from the Defence Force, 1 commercial, 5 specialist trackers, 3 dog teams. I think you put the numbers of police at around 30, and then you had Fire and Emergency New Zealand, and as you say, you had all of these volunteers. Have they given you a big thank you, the 2 trampers?
Yes, absolutely have. And we had our New Zealand Defence people who were the first to meet them and rescue them, and the gratitude that they talked about was amazing. The other piece is that this was 10 days into it before we were aware that they were missing.
Yeah, so on that matter, can we just clarify, did the pair formally log their intentions?
They, not formally, informally, so family were aware that they were heading into the bush and were given approximate time. There was some cell phone contact in the early days, and when that fell away is when we were advised.
So did they resist logging their intentions formally because they knew they weren't supposed to be out in the bush during level 3?
Lisa, I can't answer that question, but that'll be subject of the debrief with them, and we'll certainly be finding that out. We've had some very strong messaging going out from Sergeant Malcolm York, who leads our search and rescue for Nelson, and the advice that he's been giving has been really good stuff around personal locator beacons, making sure that you have the right equipment, and as you've rightly talked about, informing reliable people that of your intentions, how long you intend to be in on the tramp for, and advice around contacting police if required.
Obviously, it is a great outcome. Nobody is taking away from that. It is fantastic that you found this pair alive and relatively unscathed. But did you give them a dressing down?
Yeah, I can't comment on that. I'll leave it for you to think about, Lisa, without saying exactly yes or no.
A lot of resource went into this from the taxpayers.
Absolutely.
Can you not just tell us that? Did they get a telling off?
So they have, there is no doubt in their mind that we are not particularly happy with their decision to go into that area.
How long had they planned to go for? What do you know about their intentions?
My understanding was it was around about 2 weeks.
So they'd planned to go in there for 2 weeks?
10 days.
Right.
10 days, yeah.
When level 3 was no travelling between regions, only day walks on easy tracks, no overnight stays, and nothing that would require a rescue or medical care, they were planning to go for 10 days?
That's my understanding. Absolutely not the greatest decision making. We all agree with that.